Hello there. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at how we can set up the finances for collecting payments on the registration feature on Oxford Abstracts. So first of all, we're just going to navigate to the Finance tab, which is within the registration section. So we're going to go through billing. If you're a UK company, how we can set up VAT receipts. Then configuring payment providers such as PayPal or Stripe. And then lastly, we're going to look at how we can set up tax rules. So starting off on the billing section, first thing is we can select our currency. So this is the currency in which we're going to collect the payments for registration. Secondly, you can choose how the 2.5% service fee is collected, so you can choose to absorb the fees. So this is where the fee is deducted from your ticket revenue, or you pass on the fee to the attendees. So they essentially see the 2.5% fee as a separate charge on their invoice. At the bottom, you'll get a total of the fees that you've paid or that are due. And these just get taken from your card, which I'll show you how to enter. If you are a UK company, you can put in your company address details to download a VAT receipt, because we will charge an additional 20% on that 2.5% service fee to cover the VAT. So looking at payment providers, there are a variety of different payment methods you could use to collect the payment for the registrations. So you have Stripe. So this is where you would have a Stripe account, and then you can connect that Stripe account to Oxford Abstracts, and then this then allows you to take debit and credit card payments for the registrations. Linked to that, you can also configure a payment link option. So this is where people still pay by Stripe, but they're given a payment link. And this is useful because essentially it allows them to give that link or invoice to somebody else to make that payment by card or by debit or credit card. With this payment link, we do have to configure an invoice because it is creating an invoice. So let's have a look at how we can create that invoice. So configuring the invoices, we can choose what the title of the invoice is going to be. And then also we can choose whether any of this information is also shown on the invoice. And this is a variety of, or a selection of the event details that we can show on the invoice, and also some of the customer details. We can also display responses from the registration form on the invoice. And to configure this, we just go back to the registration form. And then within the form, for each question, we can edit that question and then say show on invoice or don't show on invoice. So this, we can use this for things like the address or phone number or anything else that you wish to show on the invoice. And then you just put in your header for the invoice and the footer. So this is going to contain your company details and the way in which people should pay that invoice. So for the payment link, there'll be a link in there, so you wouldn't need to have the bank details. But for the invoice payments, you would want to have your bank details there. So here we can preview our invoice. And so here we can see this is an example of how this invoice might look to someone. Okay, so going further down, we've got the sort of standard invoicing option. So again, we can configure it much in the same way. We can configure the invoice details and we can preview that if we want to. Some additional options here are we can link also to authorize.net, which is, this is only available if you have the billing set as US dollars for the currency. and lastly also PayPal for collecting payments. So here as well is where you also have to have a card on file with us, and then this is where we deduct the service fees from. So you can remove or add this card at any time. And then lastly, we've got the tax. So you can add essentially a tax, and then you can choose then to apply this tax to certain tickets or add-ons if you want, or you can just have it applied to all of the tickets. You can have multiple tax rules as well, and we'll show you a running total of how much tax you've collected. Okay, so this has been a summary of the finance and setting up the finances within the Oxford Abstracts registration feature. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.